Hello viewers, I'm Sadia Khan and you're watching YouTube channel Learn with Sadia. My topic for this video is most famous writers in the Romantic period in English literature. So here there are actually many writers, many poets, prose and novel writers, but here in this video we will see five writers. Okay, the very first one being William Wordsworth, 1770 to 1850. S.T. Coleridge, 72 to 1834. Lord Byron, 1778 to 1824. P.B. Shelley, 1792 to 1822. John Keats, 1795 to 1821. These dates are also of much significance. Now we will see in detail about each person. So let us read about William Wordsworth. The poet William Wordsworth was born on April 7, 1770. So he was born on April 7, 1770. Date is of much importance in Cockermouth, a remote town in lowlands of northern England. He is known as poet. So these are his titles: poet of nature, worshipper of nature, lake poet. What are his three titles? Poet of nature, worshipper of nature, the lake poet. The French Revolution inspired him. His source of inspiration was French Revolution. He became the poet of laureate in England. He got the title poet laureate. The poet of laureate in England. In nature, the great creator exists. His belief is known as pantheism. William Wordsworth was the brightest star of the age of the Romantic period. This poet died in the year 1850. So, the well-known works of William Wordsworth include lyrical ballads, the Daffodils, the Solitary Reaper, the Excursion, the Prelude, the Recluse. So the next romantic writer is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, S.T. Coleridge in short. He was born in the year 1772, the youngest of 13 children of his parents. So his parents were blessed with 13 children and S.T. Coleridge was the youngest of all. He was extraordinary child who read the Bible and Arabian Nights before he was 5. So this is the extreme quality. Before the age of 5, he read Bible as well as Arabian Nights. He was an influential writer, poet, literary critic and philosopher of the age of the Romantic period. So these are all his characteristics. He was a poet, critic, philosopher of Romantic period. He was a founder of his friend William Wordsworth of the Romantic movement in England. He was called Opium Eater, the poet of supernaturalism. This poet died in the year 1834. So he was called Opium Eater and the poet of supernaturalism. So well-known works of S.T. Coleridge include lyrical ballads. See, lyrical ballads we have seen in the William Wordsworth list also. Both of them together they have written lyrical ballads. Okay, William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge wrote lyrical ballads. Then we have The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Christabel, Kubla Khan, Dejection and Ode, The Nightingale, Biographia Literaria. The next writer of the Romantic period we have in the list is Lord Byron. George Gordon Byron was a British poet and one of the leading figures in the Romantic movement. The poet was born in the year 1788 in London, the year preceding the French Revolution. Okay, he was called the rebel poet in England. Lord Byron was called as rebel poet in England. He was also an influential poet of the age of the Romantic period. He published his works Hours of Idleness. Here you can see Hours of Idleness, Juvenilia at the age of 19. Just at the age of 19 he gave a publication when he was reading Cambridge University. He fought on behalf of the Greeks in their liberation war. This poet contracted fever at the age of 36 and died in 1824. So he died at a very early age. Well-known works of Lord Byron include Don Juan, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, She Walks in Beauty, Hours of Idleness, Heaven and Earth. These are the notable works. Going to the next writer of the Romantic period, it is P.B. Shelley, Percy by Shelley. P.B. Shelley was one of the major English Romantic poets and is critically regarded as among the finest lyric poets in the English language. The famous English poet was born in the year 1792. So he was born in the year 1792 in Field Place near Sussex, England. He was an optimistic and pessimistic poet. This great poet died in the year 1822 when he was caught in a storm while traveling by boat on the beach. So, regarding P.B. Shelley, we need to understand that he was the finest lyric poet. He was both positive, optimistic, and pessimistic. He was born in 1792. He passed away in 1822. Okay. Famous works of P.B. Shelley include Ode to Skylark. Here you can see Ode to Skylark, Ode to the West Wind, Adonis, Queen Mab, The Necessity Atheism, A Defense of Poetry, Prometheus, Unbound. These are few famous writings of P.B. Shelley. So the very next writer is John Keats. John Keats was not only last but also the most perfect of the romanticists. Okay, he was not the last but he was also the most perfect. He was most young among the romantic poets. The famous poet of English literature was born in 1795 in Mupfields, London. He was called Poet of Beauty. He was called Poet of Beauty, Poet of Sensuousness. He was most famous for his sense of beauty and professionally known as a man of medicine. Such a great title he got. He was known as Poet of Beauty, Poet of Sensuousness, Man of Medicine. This poet died at the age of 26 because of tuberculosis in the year 1822. So he also died at a very young age and the reason of his death was TB. The most notable works by him are Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to Psyche, Odeon Melancholy, Ode to Autumn, Isabella and Lamia. Yes, we are done with the most famous writers in the Romantic period in English literature. So we read regarding the 5 people. Hope this video was of use to you. I have put considerable effort in making this video. Please do consider and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.